Before I want to let my good friend Michael to share a little bit on his experience as a storyteller
Oh my
and how
goodness.
he has used it in his career and how it has helped him in his progress of becoming a trainer that he is today. Michael, you might want to share something.
Yes, thank you very much. As you folks who've been here for the last couple of evenings and those who are here for the first time, I've been in the training business for a long time, well over 30 years. And I had something happen to me many, many, many years ago that was heartbreaking. Somebody wanted to kill me and it changed my life. And after it changed my life, I became an award winner as a leader. When I tell this story, I, this teller, actually get tears in my eyes because it's so emotional. And I draw the people in and then they're emotional because they want to hear about leadership from somebody who not only is good at it, but somebody who's absolutely terrible at it. My nickname used to be Darth Vader. Well, you can imagine how bad I used to be. And then I turned that around to be a champion and win the top prize in the entire Air Force for leadership. People like that, from struggle to victory. And that's one of the things that we're going to be talking about tonight, how you got to paint that struggle, how you got to get people to feel your heart, feel that pain that you're going through, and then how you overcome it, make it better, and they can do the same thing when they reach a problem. So storytelling is very, very important. It grabs people's heart and pulls them into your story. And it's a great way of using your training skills to get your message across. But your message on your training has to relate to your story, or the other way around, your story has to relate to your message. Either way, they have to go together. Your story is there to support your message. If you try that, I think you're going to find it works. And Jay's going to tell you a lot about that tonight. Mr. Jay?
Thanks, my dear friend. So that you hear from a man who has used stories to impact his audience. And you know something? Stories can be used regardless of whatever topic you teach. Of course, if you are teaching something very, very technical, you may have lesser stories, but still you can. It is not to say, oh, mine is very technical, so I can't. You can include, definitely, because it will enhance whatever you're trying to deliver to your audience. So let me get started by sharing with you my slides. Here you go. So we are on day 3. And day 3 is mainly about, as you can see here, can anyone fill in the blank for me? What do you think this slide represents? What is the last word here? Great speakers are great. Can you use it?
Storytellers.
Okay, who said that?
So me.
All right, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Narrators.
Sorry? Great.
Narrators.
Narrators, storytellers, basically, they are the ones who can. Now, if you look at this picture here, can you see something here very interesting? Like, it's as if this dragon, which can easily blow this boy away, is there listening to his story and even warming him up on a cold night. Can you see that? Because why? The dragon is so captivated by his stories. That is what we are trying to say that. And I want to ask you, why do you think stories are so powerful? Let's hear it from you guys in the chat. Why are they? Why are stories so powerful as a communication medium? Engaging, okay. People tend to pay more attention. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And we'll be touching on all that. Why people pay more attention? Is personal relatable? Absolutely. Relatable. Okay, they can remember better. Definitely. Yeah. Do you think stories are something that was invented just recently? Storytelling. Or do you think it's been around for millennia? Since the beginning of human existence, do you all agree that stories have been part of us? Yes? Oral tradition, yeah, definitely. You know, when humans first started, okay, it's debatable when humans first came on came onto this planet Earth. Do you agree that our ancestors, our forefathers, even those who lived in caves, they were all great storytellers? Would you agree with that? Would you agree? Say yes if you agree. Yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
You tell me, in what other area apart from training? Training is just one thing that we are going to use stories. But where else do you think people are using stories to impact other humans? Let's hear from you. Sales. Who said that? Wow, absolutely. Temp. You know what, Sivagami, you hit the nail on the head. You know why? Religion is basically about stories. Would you agree with that? Bedtime stories, of course, is one, more for kids. Tell me one religion where there are no stories. I don't think you can think of any. Every religion, every human interaction. Do you know we tell stories almost every day? You don't think about it yet? Actually, we do. Okay, what is a movie all about? Yesterday, I went for a ghost movie, last night. It was so late. It was 11:30, and we came back around 2 something. And you know what? I didn't sleep. It's past my bedtime, but still, I didn't sleep. Why? Because there's a story. The movie or the story kept me awake. Of course, it was scary. That was one of the things. Now, every story touches emotions. So the power of the story, let's look at why stories are so powerful. Can you see this clay model of a horse's head? Okay. This is not a piece of art, ladies and gentlemen. It's just as a normal model made by somebody. It's probably mass produced. But there was an experiment done by a young man in US. Do you all still remember eBay? I know you all know Alibaba and Shopee and all the other online platforms. But eBay was the first. I was a pioneer in online selling. And eBay is slightly different because, people tend to bid. You all remember that? You can bid, somebody can put a price and you bid, finally whoever gets the highest bid gets the product. So this horse's head was up for sale in eBay. And it was sold for, how much? For a very small amount, which is, okay, give me a second. Okay, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. My family, they're going off for a flight. So I'm just saying goodbye to them. So, okay, anyway. Okay, take care. Right. Where was I?
You were selling this horse's head.
Yeah, I was selling the horse head for 99 cents. He bought it for 99 cents US, 99 cents, which is about Malaysian ringgit about 450 by current rates. Now, you know what this young man did was he wanted to try and see if he can sell it for higher than what he bought it for. So what he did was he got one of his friends and said, hey, somebody who writes well. He said, can you write a simple story for this horse's head? It doesn't have to be a real story. It is just a fictitious story about this horse's head. And you can tell us, maybe you can say that this horse, this is a replica of my grandfather's horse, which was a prize winner. It has won thousands of dollars and prize money or whatever it is. And then we sell this again. Where? On eBay again. Now, he bought it for 99 cents. Finally, what do you think he sold it for with the story? Not a lot, but do you think it's more than 99 cents or less, or it's the same? Come on, tell me. More, okay. Kamala is saying more, okay. Okay, many of you are saying more, okay. How much more do you think he sold it for? Give me a price. Give me a wild guess. 100, okay, 10 times. You're almost there. No, not more than, no, Kamala, not the 1K. He sold it for $69.50. Now, let me ask you this. In which business can you have a 6,000% profit? You buy one thing for R1 or $1 and you sell it for $69. Tell me one thing. I can't think of something. So what is the difference? Did the horse's head change? No, the model was just the same. It was the exact same thing. But what changed? What added value was what? The story. So which means to say, ladies and gentlemen, if you are a speaker or trainer who speaks on a subject like customer service or leadership or sales, yesterday Sivami was telling me, I teach a topic which is very competitive. Yeah, I can understand that. But you know what will make you more valuable in the marketplace? What will make people pay you more for? It's not the information. It is the stories that you can bring that can impact people. Does it make sense? So in other words, just like the horse's head was more valuable, or at least perceived to be more valuable, when you are teaching your program, you combine it with relevant stories, compelling stories that will move people emotionally and make them connect with you. You know what, ladies and gentlemen? You are making yourself more valuable. You're adding value to your content. Is this making sense? Do you tell me, put in a yes if you all agree to that. Insight plus content. Yeah. Rajuna, okay. So absolutely, yeah, okay. Thank you for your confirmation. In fact, let me share one thing with you. If you want to buy a leather jacket, if you go to a shop and buy the most expensive leather jacket, how much would you pay for a leather jacket? Put in Malaysian ringgit. How much would you pay for a leather jacket? Let's say you go to a branded shop, you know, those brand, I don't know, Gucci or something like that. How much did you pay for a jacket? A decent 500, 700, okay. 600. You cannot afford. Rajuna, if you can afford, how much would that be? Okay, Rita says 999. Okay. There was one leather jacket that sold for 1.5 million US dollars. And it was not studded in gold. It was not a fantastic jacket. The only reason it sold for 1.5 million was because it was worn by Michael Jackson. And it was worn when he was doing his Beat It dance. You remember the Beat It? Mm-hmm. And that jacket in an auction went for $1.5 million. Now let me ask you, hey, hello, a jacket is a jacket is a jacket, isn't it? Don't you think so, Kani? Hey, hello, what's a big deal about a jacket? Well, are people crazy? Why did they went for? Are those people mad? Hey, hello. I can get you a better quality jacket, maybe, or maybe not. But at least the same quality jacket for 5,000, the most expensive, let's say 5,000 US dollars, isn't it? But why do you think the people paid? Because it belonged to Michael Jackson. And there's only one of the kind. And you know what? The story that goes into the jacket is what made the jacket so valuable. Does it make sense? Because every time the guy wears the jacket, anyone's going to say, you know, this jacket was worn by Michael Jackson. Now, is everyone going to be like, really? Wow, that's a story. You see that? You see what captivates people? If you wear a jacket, people are not going to say, wow, you're wearing a jacket. No. But if you're wearing Michael Jackson, that's a different story altogether, right? Now, another thing what the guy did was this young fellow, he wanted to experiment further and say, okay, I'm going to buy 100 items. And these 100 items were about $1 range. So 100 items he bought for $129. And finally, he managed to get about 100 stories for each item. That means in one item, one story. He didn't write. He got a couple of his friends who are better writers than him. He said, hey guys, can you write a story for this cup? and a story for cheap things, a keychain, maybe like that, a keychain. Can you just write a story? And finally, he sold all the 100 items for guess how much? Nearly $8,000. So, ladies and gentlemen, it works every time. Isn't it great? What have you learned from this simple sharing of mine? Tell me, what is your aha from here? Tell me, what have you got? Yes, Kamala, stories tell. You know what we say? Facts tell, stories sell. Sometimes we say facts tell, emotion sells. Is also true. But why? Because stories are emotional stuff. Okay, and according to Harvard Business Review, you got to involve people not in a superficial level, ladies and gentlemen, on a deepest level. You need stories. I'm going to go into a little bit about the science of stories and why it works in a while, but just bear with me. Why is it that stories are important for trainers? Some of you already given us, but let's just hear from you guys why you think. FEI says not everybody buys a story. Can you tell me why you say that? FEI, I read your comment here.
It depends, yeah. If I'm not a fan of Michael Jackson, it doesn't matter. It's another thing, like the example you give.
No. That is, see, I'm not a fan of, I'm a fan of Michael Jackson's song, but I would not spend even 2,000 ringgit on a jacket.
Yes.
That's my point. But the point I'm making, there are people who will. You see, for example, if somebody buys a Rolls Royce, do you think Rolls Royce is worried about people who can't afford the Rolls Royce? They can't, they're not. Because why? Rolls Royce has a story to tell. We are the Rolls Royce. So similarly, there are people who go for such things. You get what I'm saying? So that, I mean, I'm not saying everybody will fall for the same story, but different stories will resonate with different people.
Yeah, correct. I agree with that.
All right. So tell me why, okay, it says about pride and prestige. Devin says it's about pride. Oh yes, Indian that bought the Rolls Royce and made it into a garbage. That's a story in itself, right? Okay, tell us why you think stories are important for trainers. I want to hear from you. Let's hear from those of you who like to share stories are memorable. Yes, absolutely. Kamala, you're right. Identity. Michael, can you explain a little bit what you mean by identity?
Well, I suppose for those who are actually having it
Mm-hmm.
and they want to have some kind of recognition, in their life. So therefore, some of these material things will be able to relate to them in some ways. So that's why I say that, it can form. I mean, I'm actually a registered counselor.
Ah,
So, we study the personality of different people,
uh-huh.
especially those who are struggling with their self-esteem, and they do have it. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes these material things become their identity.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
yeah, that's why, I mean, it's not for all, but this could be one of the reasons.
Absolutely. Yes.
Right.
And I see Siwami says connect with the audience, relatable and can resonate so much. Sumita, you have a long one. Okay, simplifies complex ideas, definitely making them understandable and memorable, and it engages emotions. You hit the right word, the emotions, helping to create a strong connection between the audience and the message. Can I add one thing here? I don't know if I've shared this with you on the last 2 days. I have these 5 words which I always share in my trainer classes, which is, I always tell trainers, keep this in your mind and you never go wrong. Aim for connection, not perfection. See, sometimes we are so focused on perfection. Make sure my PowerPoint is beautiful and all of that. And we forget that what people need is a connection. I wonder why people like stories even not real. You know why, Afa? Because the human mind or the human brain is wired for stories. You believe that? How much do you think the famous actors are paid? Absolutely, yes, yes. Yeah, Esther said it right, dopamine. Now, how much do you think they are paid? Aren't they paid millions? I don't know about the Chinese actors, but I know the Indian actors were paid in, at least I know Vijay gets paid insane amount of money. I heard it was 120 crores, which is about 60, 70 million ringgit for one movie. You know why? Because they have so many fans, so many people are willing to spend money to watch the movies. And some people are so crazy about that. In India, you go and see the people die for them. So that's the power of story. Because as you know, movies are a form of story. Now, moving on, why we use stories? Because number one is inspiring. Do you believe that?
Yes.
Do you think PowerPoint can inspire somebody? If you put PowerPoint and say, okay, number one, a good leader, you must be a good communicator. You know communication? Remember, communication, really, very inspiring. Oh, but if you tell a story of where you suffered because you made a mistake in communication and you learned the hard way, and because you become a better communicator and you were able to influence people and somebody has changed their lives, and you say, you know what? I'm so honored to have done that. That can inspire. Number two, you become memorable. I think just now, Kamala said that you become memorable. Yes, not only you are memorable, your points become memorable, because the purpose of a story is to help to teach a point. So the point is like the rider and the story is like a horse. Are you with me? So when you see the horse, you see the rider. You get what I'm saying? But what we want is the rider, not the horse. But you put the rider on the horse, and okay, because of the horse, people, oh yeah, I can remember that. So that's how I will probably describe it. And then it enhances your message. You see, what is a plain message becomes more interesting. People sit down and say, wow, this is so nice. You know, and I'm sure everybody in our lives, every one of you would have heard this sentence called, let me tell you a story. Have you heard this before? Have you heard this? Let me tell you a story. And as you all correctly said, it makes you more connected with your audience. Now, you might want to know, what kind of stories do I tell? Do I tell stories about myself? And just now, Effa said, why some people even tell, not real stories or imaginative stories. Should you tell those kind of stories? Should you tell other people's stories? Should you tell stories about your neighbor, your colleague, your friend, a story you read in a book? Let me tell you the best stories. The best stories is your own story. Why do you think I say your own stories are the best? Let's hear from you. You can unmute yourself and talk to me. True stories are impactful, okay. Why, Kelvin, you say it's easy to tell? More
You don't-
genuine, absolutely.
You don't have to keep thinking what to say next.
You know why or not? You just have to relive what you went through, isn't it? You say, I was there and this happened. Oh yeah, man. I was so angry, You don't have to like pretend also. It just comes naturally, isn't it? You don't have to remember the facts. No need to write it out. No need to script, nothing. You just, sometimes you sit in a coffee shop, talk to friends, you tell stories. You don't have a script, what? It just smooth sailing, just comes as if like, big deal lah. It's
Right.
like everyday conversation.
But Jay, mind if I share? If you tell the story, if you tell the story many times, assuming it's like in every occasion you tell the same story, you feel like you are in the story.
Definitely. In fact, I'm going to talk about that. Thanks for that. But actually, that's the great thing. In fact, someone was saying here, I think, we can tell more better with full expression. You put your expression into it. I'll share how to do it in a while. Huh? It's from the heart because we live to tell the tale. We live to tell the story. Okay, that's interesting. It's deeper than what I think it is. Audience like to hear about overcoming adversity and triumph. Yes, Leona, very well said. So second level is called close relative stories, meaning your dad, your mom, your sister, your brother, your spouse, your children. It is still good, very good. It may not be as powerful as your own, but still, sometimes I say, my father really, really suffered when he came from India. He didn't have food to eat, and he was working in the estates. And I watched that when I was a kid. People can relate to that because you still can tell them that you were in the story, but it's somebody who was very close to you. Thirdly is other people's story. Other people's story. Sometimes you see, people come and ask me, but Jay, if I don't have a story to explain the point, what do I do? In that case, you can use other people's stories. But let me warn you what not to do. Never take somebody else's story and claim it to be yours. That's the worst thing you can do. And I've seen people do that, and it really makes me go like, oh my God, they lose my trust straight away. You know what will happen? From that on, I stopped listening. I have no time to go into what really happened. There was one lady who did this on the stage, and I walked out. I got up, I walked out of the conference. I said, I'm not going to listen to this stupid woman anymore, because she can lie about this. What else wouldn't she be lying about? So I went out, had a cup of coffee, waited for her to finish her talk, wait for the next speaker to come. Then I went back to the conference and I said, oh, no, let me listen. Because I felt this is nonsense. And please don't think people cannot find out. Huh? People can find out. If one person finds out, that's bad enough. Let me give you an example. Let's say you read Chicken Soup for the Soul by Jack Canfield. And then you say, let me tell you the story of Golden Buddha. And if you don't say it's from Jack Canfield's book, and the worst thing you get, that's bad. But worse is to say, the Golden Buddha story. When I visited Thailand, I saw this happening in front of my eyes. The people dug up a clay statue, and then the monk went and found out there's gold inside, and I was there. Oh, really? Really? That is worse. But not telling that is from the book is bad. But you know how you can make it good? Because you see, even if you don't say it's from Chicken Soup for the Soul, people in your audience, I mean, say, let me tell you the story of the Golden Buddha. Jayashree must be whispering to, let's say, to Sivagami. This one from Chicken Soup for the Soul, it's for the churi from there and coming telling a story like grandfather's story. Possible or not? Possible, right? But you know how you can overcome that? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to share with you a story from Chicken Soup for the Soul written by Jack Canfield. And some of you might be familiar with the story, I'm sure, but I want to share with you my perspective, my takeaway from the story, which could be different from yours. Now, if you did this, are you okay? What have you done? You have neutralized that. So people still feel like, okay, he's not trying to say it's his own story, or, that's Muhammad, he said, copyright your quote. Okay. Which quote you're talking about? Jay Shetty. Okay, I don't want to talk about Jay Shetty. Okay. My good friend here, Michael, he writes a lot of quotes. So I don't know whether Michael has copyrighted his quotes. Let me tell you, talking about copyright. One of my programs was stolen from me 25 years ago. Stolen, lock, stock, and barrel, everything. And that person who stole from me is still doing it. Anyway, in the training field, this happens. Because you can ask me why didn't I copyright that time? I didn't even think, because I just like 3 years since I started training. Wait, what? How many of you copyrighted your program? Tell me. Those who just started training, you don't. But of course, now I'm thinking, oh, what to do? It's like, okay, now anyway, this is ethically wrong lah. Yeah, I know lah, but what to do? This is life, man. Kelvin stole my notes, everything, Semua, not just my program, my notes. That time we don't use PowerPoint, my transparencies also the person copied. She was my organizer. Okay, let's put it that way. She was my organizer. So, I give my transparencies. Hey, let me have it. I spice it up for you lah. So I, like an idiot, gave it to her.
Jay, Rita has her hand up.
Yes, Rita, you want to share something?
Hello, sir.
Yeah,
Okay,
tell me.
regarding the storytelling about the own close relative and others, is there any limitation for us to keep the timing when we share about our own story or close relative story and others? The reason why I asking is some of the participation who attend for the training, they may focus on the objective. For example, okay, I don't come to listen all this. I just want the objective. What's content of the courses or program about. So I believe this storytelling is one of the attraction or to centralize audience to give attention for us in order to focus. But I need advice from you. What is the limitation that divisible for us to maintain every few slots? Maybe I just take it 2 or 3 minutes, or can be a 5 minutes, so that it could be one of the flow of training.
Okay, thanks for the question, Rita. Thank you for the question. So you're asking me how long should a story be to be ideal? Okay. Would anybody want to handle this question? Anyone here? Or if you know, I will get my good friend Michael to do it. Anybody has got anything to share? Remember, I said this is a 3-way learning. Some of you are experienced trainers. You may also chip in and share your views on this for Rita. None? Then Michael, would you want to handle that question?
Yeah, sure. You do not want to give training where you are a storyteller all day. Don't do that. People didn't come to hear you tell stories, but stories added at key times when you're trying to make an impact. If you tell somebody you should not do this because of this results, then you follow that with a story where you did it wrong and you had to overcome it and you had the problem, you changed and it was better. And then you go on and do some more training. Now, if you're giving stories, let's say you're giving, say you got a four section day, 1.5 hour break, 1.5 hour lunch, 1.5 hour, and then 1.5 hour break. You got 4 sections in a day. If you give 4 stories, one each in 1.5 hours, and that story is only 5 minutes long, that's 5 minutes out of 1.5 hours. That's 4 good stories that you can give in a day. You might give more, you might give less. Those of you who've been to train the trainer, you've seen Jay. Jay gives out a little bit more than 4 in a day. Sometimes he gives 5 or 6 in a day, but they're not real long, and he uses them to make a point. That's the purpose. Your story needs to be relevant to what you are teaching. You don't want to be teaching science and then talk about how to be a comic. Those are 2 different things. You want to do something that's related together. The story is there to be helpful for you as a tool. It's a tool in your toolbox. That's all it is. When you think you're going to say something strong, you pull out that tool for a story, use it, and then you put it back. Later on, you'll tell a different topic and use a different story. That's what I would recommend. Okay, since Michael said something, it just triggered my mind. I want to share one tip with you, which would be very valuable. I know I didn't share in my previous classes, but for you guys, I would like to share this. People come to me and ask me, but Jaya, how do I look for stories? I say, there's a story every day in your life. Right. Not one. The other day I counted, I had 5 different stories I observed in my own day, 5 different stories. Now, let me tell you how to capture these stories. Have a journal.
On the journal, you put this on one, just have 2 columns. On one side, you write the story. If it is something very elaborate, you put in the details. But if it's a very short story, you know, you can immediately, sometimes I only write in point form. Sometimes I put it wherever I can. Sometimes I put my handphone. So what you do is like, just give me a second. Give me a second.
Well, here's a way I will tell you that I also teach during Toastmasters. People want to know where they're going to get their speeches at. And I tell them the same thing. If you think about when you were a child, then an adolescent, then a young adult, and then an adult with a family, and maybe now you're older, each along those way, there are hundreds of stories of things that happened to you that went right and then went wrong. Sit down with a cup of coffee or a cold beer and get out your journal and start writing. For me, I would recommend to you that you start going back to your childhood and something that drastic that happened in your childhood. Write a little notes on that. You know, I had my first girlfriend. I got my first kiss. Well, after that, she went away and never would kiss me again. You know, the disappointment I had and how did I overcome that? So it's just the idea that you can't.
Did I miss something about? I heard about a kiss and all that. Did I miss?
Yeah. So the idea is that you can go back in your life and identify hundreds of stories where things went right and things went wrong. These little stories are about you, and that's what the audience wants to hear. They don't want to hear so much about Jay's problem or somebody else, Camelia's problems. They want to hear about your problem, because your emotion, your impact, your feelings want to come out. Like I told you earlier, the story I talk about people wanting to kill me. When I tell that, I get emotional and I almost cry. So this is getting impactful, but there's hundreds and hundreds of stories in your background. And if you're following what Jay's talking about now, you're going to even have more.
Okay, I want to tell you a story that happened yesterday. Not too far in the distant past. You know, I was waiting in a clinic. My wife was not well. She's a bit of pressure, so we went to check. So I was sitting there, and there was this Chinese man who was listening to some TikTok, just sitting next to me, and it was so loud. I think he put maximum volume. No? And you know, sometimes they have this funny, you know, like every now and then, like the kind of laughter, you know, the kind of, yeah. And it was just going on and on and on. I told my wife, I said, this fella, old Chinese man. I said, this is irritating, man. I'm trying to read something on my phone, and this like, so since I speak Cantonese, I turned to the man and I said, elderly man, I say, excuse me, I said in Chinese, I still in Cantonese. I say, 你聽嗰個好大聲啊喂。對唔住啊。I say, you know, sorry, I think it's a bit loud. He looked at me and I said, huh? I said, it's too loud. Can lower. And you know what he said? I can't hear you. Then I realized it's half deaf. So it makes sense that he was having the volume so high. So the point I want to make is sometimes we may not know the real situation. We tend to jump to conclusions. I thought he was being rude to me, but actually his situation is such, he needs to make it loud to hear what he was listening to. So that is a story, you know. You see, now what? Let me tell you the second part. First, you write down the stories. On this next column, you put there, if you can find a message. Are you with me? If there is a message, write down what message there is. And then you create a swipe file. A swipe file is where, after you've collected all this, so you put one on, let's say, jumping to conclusions. So you can put this story, maybe you have 5 or 6 stories for jumping to conclusions. One more on overcoming failure, for example. Then you have, and one could be, you know, another thing is you can look at your life starting from the age of 5. Most of us may not remember our life before 5. From 5 onwards, the incidents that happen in your life, you ask yourself, you won't be able to remember everything at one go. Ask yourself, what happened to me when I was 5 years old, 6 years old, 7 years old, when I went to school? Sorry? So please mute yourself, guys. So otherwise you'll just interrupt the flow of our session. So you know something, At every juncture of your life, there will be some incident that happened. Would you agree? Recall and write those down. And sometimes when you're doing something, you know, you could be shopping, or you could be cooking, or you could be washing something, or just then another, yeah, this happened to me, you know, 10 years ago, I forgot. Write it down. You get what I'm saying? And if you did that, ladies and gentlemen, you would have no shortage of stories. You would have no shortage. Trust me. I know. In fact, you know, one guy asked me, Jaya, he's a trainer. He was co-training with me. He was on leadership. And then he came out to me and said, he's a Singaporean. Can I tell you something? I said, what? You have 10,000 stories in your head or what? I said, no, lah, brother. No, lah, bro. I only have 9,999. Why? He said, what, like you? Every point you make, you have a story. I said, oh, like that, because I love stories, so I've collected them in my own mind. So I just, as I speak, it comes out. So he's like, I've never seen anybody who can tell so many stories. And my stories are not long. It's Rita, to answer your question. Don't go and bore people with very long, don't put in unnecessary details inside. That means when you tell a story, everything you say, even the details, there must be a reason for those details. If you think this detail, see, the same story you can tell in different ways to different crowds. Are you with me? A story is a tool. You can structure it differently see, you can tell the same story to emphasize different points at different audiences. Does it make sense? Are you with me? Anybody not so sure what I'm talking about? Okay. Let me continue with my sharing of my, okay. Where were we? Hey, not this one, sorry. Sila. This one, yeah. Okay, we have. So on the effects of stories. What is the effect of stories on your audiences? Number one, I think someone just mentioned just now in the chat, dopamine. Who knows what's dopamine? Does it sound, yeah, okay, Esther, yeah, you said that, yeah. Yeah, she just raised her hand. She said she's the one to say dopamine. Dopamine is actually a hormone that is secreted into your bloodstream that will change your feelings. You got it? And the brain tends to do that. And you know something very interesting, ladies and gentlemen? You cannot control it. That means your audience cannot prevent this from happening. If you tell a story that will make them to secrete dopamine, they cannot like, I choose not to. They can't. Of course, they're not listening to, that's a different story. But as long as they're paying attention, it's just that when you go for a ghost movie, everybody who watches the ghost movie will go through the same feelings of fear when not the ghost comes, when the music, the sound effect, you know, the jump scare. Everybody, they cannot say, hey, just a movie. Hey, come on, who are you trying to kid? No, we are adults. You know why? Because your subconscious mind will hijack your conscious mind. Remember? You cannot control your subconscious mind. Huh? Your subconscious mind will take over. Conscious mind, consciously say it's a movie. That's not real blood. It's just some red paint. You sure you would think like this? No. When you walk out of the movie, you say, wow, the way they made the movie, very nice, very real. Looks real. And you know it was not real. But still, when you are there, your heart beats faster. You have all the feelings you go through. Yes. And when you tell a story that creates dopamine in the bloodstream, the effect is the people become more focused. You know how you can create dopamine in your audience? Tell a story where there is suspense. Let me give you an example. Did you all watch the movie Jurassic Park? Not the second one, the first one. The first Jurassic Park. You remember? Do you still remember a scene where there was this lady, she was walking in the jungle. You know, she get down from the car and she's walking, and suddenly she hears a very loud thumping noise. Boom. And she stops. She looks puzzled, confused. She looks around. And you and I know it is the T-Rex. Yes? She didn't know. She's like, what is this noise about? Then she continues. And then again, louder. Doom. And this time, you know, Steven Spielberg, in his brilliant movie making, he zoomed the camera onto a puddle where there were ripples on the puddle. You remember that scene? You may vaguely remember that. Now, I don't know about you. I'm not American. I'm not a woman. I am staying totally opposite side of the world from where the movie was made. But I can tell you, I was scared. I was like, oh my God, as if the dinosaur is going to eat me. Can you see? I mean, it doesn't make sense, right? Hey, hello, you're not a woman, what? You know, you're not American some more. And you know, it's a movie, what? the dinosaurs are not real. But for that moment, you know, my heart was beating faster. And like, you know, the suspense. And you become very focused. What's going to happen next? Even if I feel good going to the washroom, I won't go at the time. Are you with me? That's how movies are made. And if you can do that, have that effect, ladies and gentlemen, you are getting dopamine in their system and they'll be more focused. Second thing, your audience will remember clearly what you said. Especially dopamine has this effect of transferring information to the long-term memory. It's proven, eh? Next one. People become more motivated. If I were to have secretion of dopamine in the bloodstream of my audience, and I say, you know, ladies and gentlemen, I went through this problem and I made it finally, and you can do it as well. Really? I said, of course, man. What do you mean? What do you mean you're asking me like that? I was in a worse place than you. Oh, then I should do it. Yes, of course you can. Can you see that? Next, another one, another kind of, what do you call, hormone, which is called oxytocin. Anybody heard of oxytocin? No? Oxytocin, you can call it love hormone or the empathy hormone. It's the caring hormone that people, you know, sometimes when you have an item like this, for example, let's say this is a cup you have been having since like primary school, you've been drinking from this cup, and you know, someone wants to throw it away. Hey, this cup, chip a bit, don't throw away. He said, no. You know why? Every time you take that cup, you have oxytocin in your system. You say, oh my God, I love this cup. Oh, it doesn't have to be human beings. It can be attachment to things also is part of oxytocin. You know what I'm saying? You know what? You know oxytocin, what it can do? It can make you more generous. So if somebody comes and asks you, can I have a donation? Sure. But if I tell a story, instead of giving 1 ringgit, you might give 50 ringgit. If I manage to have oxytocin coming into your bloodstream, if I can do that. And you know what? People will trust you more. And you know something, this con men in the world, they're also very clever, you know. They know how to make oxytocin secrete into your bloodstream, and you begin to trust them. But I'm not saying this doing a bad way, but you can do it in a good way. You will become closer. Remember, we talk about building connection. You have oxytocin, and people become connected to you. And so you might wonder what kind of stories can get oxytocin. Is like when you tell people that something will. I'll give you an example. Okay, give you an example of so easier. If I were to say, and this is a true story, yeah? True story. It's not my story. It's a story I read, but it's so meaningful. There are 90,000 people in Mumbai Mumbai. You know Mumbai, Bombay, India, who have bad eyesight, who need corrective glasses, and each glass only costs $5. So if you can just donate, you'll be helping some of these people who can't, $5 lah. You'll be really, really helping them. Now, the 90,000 is actually statistics. You got it? Statistics cannot influence people. But now let me tell you like this. And what I'm going to tell you is a true story, actually. I don't know whether this is his name, but let's say there was one man whose name is Anand in Mumbai. And his job is to is a weaver. He weaves clothes, you know, and he creates new designs every time. But he's already in 40 over years old now. And you know what? His eyesight is already going bad. And because of that, his only daughter has to stay back and miss school many days to make sure that the pattern that her father has drawn is exactly how it comes out in the weaving machine. So he's very sad that his girl has to sacrifice her education to be helping him in his business, but it's a catch-22 because otherwise he won't have money to spend for his family, and which is not much. And you know, ladies and gentlemen, all it takes is $5. If you could give just $5, you'll be helping Anand's daughter's future. Just like Anand, there are 90,000 people in Mumbai who are suffering from poor eyesight. You know, when I say this story, what happens? Do you feel more empathetic? Do you feel more caring? Do you feel more generous? Yes or no? Tell me, come on. Let's hear in the chat. Did you feel more generous now rather than me just saying 90,000 people need specs? What made the difference? Is it the statistics? And you know what? I have, in fact, if I'm really, if I were to really get you people to donate some specs, I'm sure you would have said, here, take at least 10 specs. $50, okay, $50 about 250 ringgit. Can, no problem, take it. We would give. Why? Because I told you the reason. The reason is you are helping a child. Got it? Well, this is a story about Johns Hopkins University, but I shall skip it. But I just want to tell you that I usually tell this story about how Johns Hopkins Hospital was built by the boy who became a man in the 1700s. And I said this university runs on charity. I have a story for that. But anyway, I'll skip that. I already told you that spectacle story, so it's about the same. So I want to share with you the 7 C's of storytelling. What do you think could be 1 C? Make a guess. All these 7 points start with the C. Anyone? Take a guess, don't worry. No right, no wrong. Character, okay, absolutely. Yeah, how did you get it? Yes, Kamala, fantastic. Characters. Climax, okay, yeah, yes, also. Interesting. Characters, not just character, can be characters. Because in some stories, you have more than one person, yes or no? Can I say that? Then, second thing, circumstances. You may want to write this down. I don't have it here in my slides, but I want to tell you this. I call it the 3 S of storytelling. It's called setting, struggle, solution. Setting, struggle, solution. This is the 3 steps storytelling. In fact, you know, we call it the power of 3. You know, you have got get set, ready, go. Isn't it? 1, 2, 3. If you have a speech, you have an opening, body, conclusion. Isn't it? Even if you have humor, you have the opening and then the body and then the punchline. So a lot of things in life have got the 3. So in storytelling also you have the 3 S. Setting means you tell people where this happened. So you can write this down. Huh? The setting means where. No, sorry. When. Start with when. You see, when I was 10 years old, or last December, so the when. Where did it happen? Where? The location. Who was involved? Finally, what happened? So this is the sequencing of the setting. And then the struggle means, what was the problem? See, remember, ladies, if there's no problem, there's no story. Got it? If you have no problem at all, there is no story. For example, you say, my parents are very rich, they gave me all the best things in life, and they sent me to the best school. I went to a top medical school in India. Today, I'm a very successful doctor. That's not a story. That's boasting. Boasting. Got it? So don't tell that. But if you said, my parents didn't have money for food, we survived on roti canai and Maggie mee, and my parents didn't send me to school. I had to work for every single cent to pay for even my canteen, And that's why I didn't have proper shoes. I went to school without shoes, and I got sacked from my teacher scolded me, and they kicked me out of school many times. And I really thought I'm going to be a washout in life. Today, I'm the top doctor in town. Of course, you can give the reason. But point is, that is a story. Got it? That's a story. So next, conflict. Conflict is the problem that I spoke to you. The struggle that you went through is called a conflict. Third, conversations. See, sometimes we tell stories without including the conversations. Remember just now I told you, when I told you the story about me in the clinic yesterday, did I have a conversation? In fact, I told you in Cantonese the way I told him, yes? Kelvin will probably tell you I was right in Cantonese. Isn't it? I speak Cantonese. I've given speeches in Cantonese for information, in case you're wondering. Back in my hometown, I given a 20 minutes speech, complete speech in Cantonese. But I'm not saying I'm brilliant or anything. I grew up in a Chinese village, so that explains why I speak Cantonese. Right. Anyway, but the point is that when I tell a story, I have the conversations. You see, let me add one more point to you. If you're writing this down, write this down. Huh? When you tell a story, there's something called in moment and out moment. In moment and out moment. In moment is when you are putting yourself into the character's role. That means you become the character. Just like a good actor will become the character. Right? So you don't say, my teacher scolded me. No. You say, my teacher said, you bloody idiot. Huh. That's conversation. And I said, sir, but why you scold me like that? I feel like crying. Can you see that? That is conversation. So you say, my teacher scolded me and I asked him why. That's not a conversation. Can you see that? The feeling is totally different. Next, a comeback. That means you said, I struggle, but I overcame that. I call this the breakthrough after the breakdown. Or you can call it the pit and the breakthrough. The pit means you fell into a pit and you claw your way out. So that's called the comeback. If there's no comeback, of course, that's not a story. If I told you, ladies and gentlemen, I was so poor that I can't even afford a decent meal, and today I'm still struggling. Today I still eat Maggie mee. That's not a story. You got it? There must be a breakthrough because people want to see you win. And then they say, okay, I can learn something from this. So there must be something called a compelling message. You tell a story not for fun, not because you have nothing else to say, because you say, I don't have enough points, so I tell a story. No, not at all. The reason you tell a story is because there is a strong message, a strong. a message that will draw them in. You say, oh my God, really? Yeah, that's finally number 7. This is optional, It's optional, but if you can put it in, it will be great. A catchphrase is like a brand. Like, if you say finger licking good, McDonald's, right? No, finger licking good? No, I thought it's McDonald's. No, not McDonald's. I know it's one of those food chain, but don't know which food chain. Which one is it?
Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Oh, okay. Thank you. You look like Colonel Sanders. No wonder you remember that well. But Adidas tagline or not? Just do it. You know, Calvin, remember or not? Adidas obviously just do it, eh?
That's Nike.
Oh, again. Sorry.
Nike.
I know one of the shoe companies, yeah, okay. But I also remember Toyota likes to say the power of dreams. Not Toyota. BMW.
Honda.
Oh, Honda. Look at that.
Proton.
Yo, so sorry, like you guys. Thank you very much. You are really lifesaver, I tell you. Now, those just like big brands have their own catchphrase. You have your own catchphrase, right? For example, I have a story, my signature story. I have no time to go into that, but I just want to share this with you. My catchphrase for one of my key story, which I say, or my signature story is called Action Cures Fear. Some of you might have heard my story. Some of you might remember this. Those who my TTT students might remember this. So the catchphrase can be very powerful. Okay, if you have. So that is a compelling message as well. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to share this with you. Stories have been part of our genetics, I would say, our DNA. As human beings, we are moved by stories. Whether you like it or not, you may love the person or hate the person because of the stories you hear. You believe that? You may like a prime minister in our country or any country because of the stories we hear about them. Yes or not? Correct? It's not because the way they look. Our prime minister very handsome. Wow, very good. I like him. I don't think you do that because you hate or like a person based on, and some of it could be true, maybe some may not true. We don't know because the media, they don't always report the truth. You know that, right? The media reports what they want you to believe. But anyway, the point is that since language was created, even during our caveman ancestors, they were already telling stories, not the way we are talking now, but just with gestures. If somebody brings a deer to the cave, the first thing before they cook the deer, they will want to know, how did you catch the deer, right? There starts the story. About 27,000 years ago, people started drawing. And the cave paintings that are found are as old as 27,000 years. And each drawing tells a story. Yes, ladies and gentlemen? About 3,500 years ago, people created not the modern printing, but very, very primitive kind of printing. And that makes stories even more accessible. But 28 years ago, PowerPoint came into the world and spoiled everything. No, I didn't say that. They didn't spoil everything, but they did something. I'm using PowerPoint as well. But the point is, do not become so reliant on PowerPoint. Do you know, ladies and gentlemen, today's session or any of my sessions, you take away all my PowerPoint, I can still do it. Would you believe that? Because I'm not relying on PowerPoint at all. I don't need to. The reason I'm showing this is because at least there's some kind of visual impact for you. That's the only reason. You know, I have taught classes without a single PowerPoint, just using a whiteboard or a flip chart. And people come and say, you know what? I learned so much from you. I say, really? Yeah. And you didn't use PowerPoint? I say, yeah. The PowerPoint is just a tool. I'm not against PowerPoint, but I'm just against people who become a slave to PowerPoint. So, ladies and gentlemen, tell me, what you have taken back from, I know it's a short session, I've got some announcements for you. This time I've made this session quickly and short. Tell me what you have gained from this. Mani Murray just attended training without appointment. Okay. Tell me, well, do unmute yourself and share with us your takeaways from today's class. So now is your time. Come on, anyone? PowerPoint still requires to keep our audience focused. Slides can help with dopamine without realizing. It can be, Esther, but it's not a necessity. Do you know, let me ask you this. Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
You know, the greatest storytellers in the world were the Greeks, or the greatest speakers in the world were Greeks.
Yes.
Do you know that they can move thousands of people without a single PowerPoint or even a whiteboard or anything?
Yes, but academically, I find academically nowadays, most people cannot focus because they are so attached to the gadgets and all that. They find it difficult to focus and retain what they hear, not like people before. You see, so they still need, I find there's impact. There is great impact if you have good PowerPoint slide, not the boring one. It's got to be interesting a bit. I mean, with colors, you know, nowadays AI slides are colorful. Why AI is doing? Say if you just go to the, AI and you ask to generate the slides.
Yeah.
You colorful slides.
Right. I want to show you one thing here.
Yeah, but what you are saying is true, Mr. Jairam. I agree with you.
See, I want to share this with you. Can you all see this? Can you see this?
Yes.
That's
Yeah,
me,
we
by the
can see
way.
it. We can see it, Jay.
Okay. Can you see these kids here? I have about 200 kids here, and they're laughing and they are connecting with me. I didn't use PowerPoint there. All I did was I was using a whiteboard. Can you see that? And you see, I'm blindfolded. The kids wanted to blindfold me. And then they say, sir, can we challenge you? I said, can.
You know why? Actually, physical trainings are different, totally different, because I'm talking about especially online,
Okay, right, point.
Online classes.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, but Esther, it's not essential, but it can add on, definitely. I'm not saying don't, okay? Today I must use PowerPoint, so I'm not against it. I'm not, it's not black and white. Don't say yes or no, but what I'm saying is don't become too dependent on it. Let me tell you this, in Singapore, I was doing a training 4 years ago, before pandemic. And then you know what happened? The power went off. And I was using PowerPoint to train a lot of parents there, parents and kids. Do you think I said, oh my God, there goes my PowerPoint? You know what I did? Luckily, it was around 5 o'clock. It was still not dark. I said, can somebody please draw the curtains, open the windows, no fan, no aircon. Is there a whiteboard here? Show goes on. A few minutes later, the power came back after about 20 minutes. I didn't know it was going to come back, but you know what? It was just continuing as if the PowerPoint was there. My point is, I am not relying on the PowerPoints. If you rely too much, at that point, I would say, oh, sorry, no PowerPoint, yeah, wait lah. Then you cannot go on. Okay, anyway. Yeah, people like Anthony Robbins hardly use PowerPoints. Remember I told you the guy, what's his name? Ron Kaufman. When I attended his training, he's $15,000 US a day. He only uses 4 flip charts on the stage. No PowerPoint. But we are not like him, but what I'm saying is Ken. Is a teaching learning aid, not a crutch. Exactly, Leona. Don't solely rely on PowerPoint. Always have backup. True. So what are your takeaways from today? Anyone want to share? Quick. Tell us quickly. None? Did you enjoy it? Did you find any valuable takeaways from this?
Hi, good evening, Mr. Jaya.
Yes.
In my training, I used to tell stories, but then I don't know how to connect and then the importance of the storytelling. I always think like I'm telling my story, so I better don't tell many stories. But today I understand there are impact on sharing personal stories.
Absolutely. But tell it properly.
Thank-
It's a tool. If you use it wrongly, it can go against you as well. Eh?
Right.
If
Yeah,
it's a
correct.
boring story or story that's not related, or you go too long, putting unnecessary detail, that can also kill the whole audience. Got it?
Understand.
Anyone else want to share? Kani, how do you find the session? Of course, for you, it's not new because you heard it from me, but maybe you got a different perspective now.
Yeah, it's definitely a refresher, Mr. Jaya, but every time I learn new things. And today particularly, it reinforces the need to tell stories that connect to people and make people remember what you're telling better. I think the key point is touching their emotion.
Absolutely. So, Afa asked a question, how about our privacy out of our own story? See, I'm not telling you to go and share your private life in public. You don't have to. Even if you did, you can still take off some key things that you may not want to share with the public. You don't have to. You get what I'm saying? We all have our own lives, right? Yes, Michael, you want to share something?
Yeah, Jay, her point is well taken. But what you need to understand is when you're telling a story and it's your story, no one knows the script. It's in your head. So you're going to deliver it. When you deliver it, you can change a few words here and change a few words there. It's still the same story. It may not be 100% accurate. You may have changed it for impact. You may have changed it for the point. You don't have to give up personal information, but it does need to be about you. And if it's about you and you want to tell it, great. But you can change it a little bit. It's your script. Nobody else has written it besides you. So when you write that script in your head as to what you're going to tell, you decide what to tell, you decide what to leave out, and then you're okay with it.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's come to a point where I want to share with you something which is relevant for us today. I'll take your questions in a while, but before that, do you recognize this guy? From the background, maybe. Right. I want to share with you a program that I have been doing from the time of the pandemic. I used to call it CPTD, Certified Professional Training and Development. And now I have rebranded it as CTP. Michael and I, we are doing this. Earlier, I was doing it all by myself. Now I have a great friend and partner with me, which is Michael. And I just want to share with you what my participants, and let me tell you what I did during the time. This was during pandemic. So totally was done online. I want you to see it was a 6 weeks course. 6 weeks of 2 sessions per week of 1.5 hours each. That means to say they got 36 hours with me. Let me share with you what happened.
Mr. Jay, I think you have been inspiring me from the first day I saw you on Facebook, and that's how I get connected with you. And since the day I get connected with you, I think you have given me a new dimension on how the trainer should be. I think that's the most, the biggest takeaway that I would take from this, from the CPTD as well. The first thing I would say is, I think most of us, all of us are having the common answers, which is the ways to present, the way to convey delivery methods, and to use, it's all about our audience, not me. And you also mentioned us that how is on the ethics of the trainer, right? And along by going through this CPTD class, I've been applying one by one. For example, like today I attended a class on how the trainer should be, for example. So I'll be applying the exact method that you teach us on the class of my Ardino on Saturdays. So although it's with the kids, I wouldn't say, it's the kids. I will try to manipulate a little so that they can be connected with me. So I saw that there's a tremendous change in this method when I started to use. They are very much closer to me, and they actually emotionally connected with me now. So that's how I am connecting with my my students, and that's one thing. And the other thing is, which has made me to improve a lot is actually the piloting technique that he taught us. The first thing that triggers my mind to do a free session on Arduino class that I did previously was from the class I learned here today. And from there, I got almost 10 participants registered already. And I'll be starting, that class itself, I think, 18 of them attended, 18 attended, and 10 already signed up. They're fully confirmed. Yeah. So I think that's a very, very good takeaway, I would say, the piloting method. And you have inspired me to start with personal branding and also skill profiling. So this is another new thing that I'm going to venture. I've already started to, I've been concerned during my university time. There's no anyone to, especially coach us on how to build our self-competence. All these things. All the while we'll be going to the lecture and then coming back to the college, and then attending programs, all those things. And that is how I grew up. I felt like instead of wasting time in social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all this kind of thing, probably university students are doing that for entertainment purpose, and they are not doing at all for their personal branding. They are not building themselves. And university is the best place for us to fall and come back again, right? And in career, we are unable to do that. If we do that, probably we are going to, fail some sort of consequences. So university is the place where we can build ourselves really. So I thought of trying this personal branding, also skill profiling, a venture, exactly by using your method. So that is why I mentioned in the group that I want to do this as a free session first, probably with this exact group, to get the feedbacks on how do adults think. And then I'll be connecting all those feedbacks to my improvisation, and then I'll be kickstarting my project as well. Thank you so much, Mr. J.
Okay, let me add something for you. Okay, I'm going to skip my part.
Dapat rasa
Okay, this is one more of my listen to one more of my participants who went through my CPTD course. Okay. And that is why, and you can of course tell them in greater detail, the frustrations you felt and the problems that you face as a result of that. You see that. So ladies and gentlemen, if you notice now, Vivian has proof that piloting is a very powerful way of
look dull.
That. So ladies and gentlemen, if you notice now, Vivian has proof that. Okay, I'm going to keep a bit. What's your take on the CPTD and how did you find? I know some classes you missed and all.
Okay, actually, this is my first class yang melibatkan untuk trainer to be a professional trainer. So from discussion, from apa yang you share, first saya dapat improve dari segi presentation. Sebelum ni, I punya PowerPoint look dull. Terlalu banyak wording dalam saya punya presentation. But now I dah boleh buat gambar lebih menarik. Dan saya lebih rasa confident bila saya nak present dalam keadaan PowerPoint, kita punya presentation slide tu nampak cantik. So bila kita sendiri dapat rasa that spirit, of course kita punya audience pun macam tu. Dan daripada saya dah buat saya punya pilot project actually, tapi saya tak buat free. So bila saya buat free, nanti saya cakap sorang-sorang. So saya kata saya kenakan charge RM30. So saya dapat 10 orang peserta, and that's my pilot project. Dan sekarang ni pun dah ramai yang bertanya bila nak buat lagi. Okay. Yang keduanya flow content. Sebelum ni saya punya content lompat sini, ikut sukalah. Hari ni saya nak ajar apa yang saya nak ajar, tapi sekarang ni saya dah tahu dia punya flow. Lepas macam mana nak relate dengan saya punya own experience untuk buka mata audience supaya dia lebih ada rasa semangat untuk dapatkan ilmu tu. So overall kawan-kawan pun sangat supportive, and of course user daripada first I nak register, sir masih boleh register lagi ke? So boleh. So dia kata boleh, okay. Sebab saya masuk kelas ni saya ditaja oleh Giat Mara Malaysia. So they sponsored me sebab before this saya selalu train dia punya student.
for free, just share, just for sharing buat macam ni. Then dia kata, okay, kita nak sponsor you. So dia sponsor sepatutnya 2. Saya sepatutnya pergi dengan saya punya partner, tapi saya punya partner last minute ada satu benda yang dia nak kena buat, so saya seorang. Anyway, thank you sir, and thank you Christian, Dr. Vijay. Before this saya tak tahu tentang LinkedIn.
Oh.
Tak pernah tahu. Dan tak pernah ambil tahu.
Sekarang dah mula guna.
Saya dah start create saya punya LinkedIn sikit. Nanti baru saya share saya punya link.
Actually for you senang je sebab you dah fasih dengan apa ni social media kan. Itu platform lain saja.
Yelah. Sebelum tak macam apa LinkedIn ni malas ambil tahu. Tapi sekarang ni ini satu platform yang satu lagi aku boleh
Just anymore, isn't it?
program yang sangat lengkap untuk menjadi trainer. Sharing buat macam ni, saya sangat bersyukurlah sebab pada dia program CPTD ni dia sangat berstruktur. Maknanya daripada hari first Mr. Jaya buat sharing sehinggalah yang kita praktikal ni. Bila kita praktikal tu baru kita nampak daripada awal yang Mr. Jaya ajar tu sehinggalah yang last kali. Jadi benda tu sangat membantu, dan program CPTD ni dia bukan setakat ajar teori tapi lebih banyak yang praktikal dia dengan cara macam mana kita.
Okay, so I just wanted to share that with you all. Now I want to ask you, if Michael and I, that was done just by me, just with my own little bit of experience and sharing from that. It was 4 years ago. That was 3 years ago. When was the pandemic? It was in 2020, 21 and 22. 22, that was in 22. 22 years back. Now I have a great international trainer with me, Michael. So we have now put together a course which is going to be for 12 days of 8 hours each. So that means that one which you saw is for 36 hours. And you can see the transformation in my audience. Can you see that? Did you see that? Are they speaking from their heart? You saw Vivendran, right? What did Vivendran say? He hasn't started. No, I gave him a roadmap, a blueprint, and he started making money. I showed him how to get started, how to do free courses, how to scale that into. He said 18 people came and 10 people signed up. Is that good? Is that good? Tell me.
Yes.
Yeah. And you heard Noor say what? Noor, right? Noor said, I told her to do it for free. She said, no, I want to do 30 ringgit. She said, okay. And she got 10 people. And they're asking when you're going to do it again. Isn't it wonderful, ladies and gentlemen, that you don't have to go out there and look for customers. They come to you. Isn't it? Right? Yeah. So this is what I want to just share with y'all. And let me give you all where I wanted to share with you on what we have in store for you. So our program is called Certified Training Professional. I used to call it CPTD, which was Certified Professional in Training and Development. Now I call it Certified Training Professional course. All right. This is a higher level than what you saw those people giving their feedback. That was, at that moment, that was my best. Now I can do a better job than that. And with Michael's expertise, we both can really, really help anybody to do this. And it comes with a certificate. Not from Malaysia, it's from US. It's called a Leadership Excellence International. When you complete the course with us, we will share this with you. You will get this. Of course, there are some simple assignments for you to do, and some you have to answer questions. The questionnaires are easy, but the tasks that we ask you to do may be challenging for you. But don't worry, we'll be there to guide you. As you saw, I did not show you all the testimonials from my past participants. I've got so many. I'm not talking about TTT, you know. And if you heard from Noor, she said this is so different from the TTT. Bukan macam TTT biasa. It's not. As you guys who went through my TTT, you know that I share my blood, sweat, and tears. I never hold anything back. But that is very short. It's 5 days and my hands are tied because HRDC give me the syllabus. Cover this on second day, on third day, fifth day. Okay, I have to do that. But in between, I try to slot in some things that I feel are useful to you. But this course is designed by me and Michael. And, we really stretch our brains a lot to do this. We have great things for you. And one of the things you want to do is how you can have a great career. How do you wow your audience every time, not once in a while? How do you get paid handsomely if you're already getting paid? How do you get paid even more? How do you get clients to look you up? Like, as I said, my programs, I don't even market. I just tell people they come. And of course, you can do even more than that. And one more thing is I'm having a branding expert. You see those, they say, right? Like Vivendra said, now I know how to brand myself. That was not done by me. I have an outsider. I have a brand expert coming and teach. So in this course, I'm also having an expert who will come and teach you guys what is LinkedIn, how to optimize LinkedIn. If you ask me, I'm using it, but I'm not the best person to teach that, so I don't teach that. So how do you have a mindset to win, and how do you look for opportunities? And if we feel that you can work with us, our company Success Edge will also market your programs. Got it? So what you will get is you get 12 full days with Michael and me, 2 weekends a month. We are starting on the first weekend of, Michael, can you check for me what is the first weekend of October?
October.
On the first weekend of October. Let me just see. I have the calendar here. It's 4th and 5th, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
So
Correct.
you're doing 2 weekends per month.
5
So
and
you
6,
don't have
5 and 6.
or 5 and 6. So 5 and 6. So from that on, you can see we'll skip 1 week. And the reason we skip a week is because we give you assignments to do. This is not a class like what you guys are attending and listening, and that is a physical class. Unfortunately, we don't have I have stopped doing that course online. I got people come and ask me, hey, you could do it online. I said, no, not. And you know how many people we're looking for? 10 to 15, maximum 15. We don't want more than that. We don't, because you know why? We cannot handle, because we're going to give you personal attention.
Yeah.
Right. Another thing is you get 3 months of extended coaching. After the 3 months is over, that means after the 12 days are over, you still have 1 month, 1 day of coaching from us. That will be online. Got it? That is for you to ask all the questions you have. Now, let's say we share with you certain techniques, you go out there and you use it, and you come and say, Jaya or Michael, it doesn't work. Now, I have this problem. We will do our best to solve it for you. Right? And not only we will solve it for you, the group that will be part of your class, we will brainstorm with them. Like just now, we heard them say, right, well, not only I want to thank you, Jaya, but my classmates. The kind of camaraderie. In fact, I didn't show you one of the testimonials in the class where this lady, her name is Kavita, where she says that because of this class, I have now formed a group, a mastermind, where they are going out and getting business together. Anyway, so you get one more thing you'll get is one-on-one session with me and Michael. This will be 1 hour each for every one of you. Can you see why we won't be able to take more than 15 maximum? And we also give you a 3 fully developed course material, which is each course material costs $495, which is about 2,000 ringgit. I'm going to give you 3 free of charge. And then I've written my book. Another thing is that Michael and I, we are starting to write a book, which we want to offer to you people to be the first one to get this book. We are going to squeeze our brains to write a book for trainers. We want to put in something that you cannot find in any other book on training. And this is what we want to offer to you. You got it? So if you want to know what is it that the syllabus, let me share with you the syllabus. What comes for the 12 days? This is what you will get. Give me a second.
Jay, while you're getting that, I'll say a few words.
Please.
Yes, for all of you, when you come to this class, we're going to actually have you present. In other words, we will demonstrate what you're supposed to do. We will talk to you about it and coach you, and then you're going to get up and you're going to physically do it. We're going to be there to hold your hand while you figure out what body language I need to do. What voice do I need? How do I need to change it? Whatever it is you're doing when you're telling stories, we're going to be helping you with all these different skills. Us two, plus a couple other people who will give you special skills. But for us, we're going to help make you a much better trainer. We're going to raise the level of your performance quite a bit. And we're going to do it with you through actual activities in the classroom. You will go away a week and practice. And when you come back, you'll have the opportunity to demonstrate them. We will be your coaches. We will help you raise your skill level where you're going to be among the best of the trainers, not just the ordinary trainers. You went through train the trainer course, you got the initial, you're out there trying to do it, or you're thinking about doing it. This is going to raise your level very quickly. Jay and I had to spend several years on our own trying to figure out how to move up this ladder. And then eventually I went to Brian Tracy's class in the United States, and I won't tell you how many tens of thousands of dollars I paid for that class, and it was only 7 days. We're going to give you much more than that, and the prices are going to be very reasonable. So Mr. Jay will talk about that.
Yeah, talking about that, Michael, you know, about 4 years ago, I went for a class in JB. It was a 6 days class, 6 full days. It was called FOB, Future of Business. And guess how much I invested in that? 12,000 ringgit. And it's not for trainers, you know, it is about business. I still went because I thought I'll be able to take something back for trainers. Well, I did get something, but no complaints. I won't say I benefited totally from the course, but the few things I got back was so valuable. But what we have here, Michael and I, is not something that, you know, bits and pieces that you'll gain. It is structured for trainers, structured for people who want to make this a career. Now, let me give you the syllabus. Of course, day one is about getting started, the frameworks. I will go through in great detail with you. Michael and I will be going through. Some will be done by me, some by Michael. The fundamentals of the training, how do you connect with the people? And I talk about this 8 intelligences of Howard Gardner, and how do you use that? I have my own Froll formula. How do you start? How do you end? How do you help people to remember? How do you become outstanding? How do you link? On day 3, you have how to design. Remember just now, the lady was saying, Noah was saying, now I know how to design my course in a very structured way. So you will get very practical tips, not theory. How do you define your audience? How do you define your avatar? You know, it's an avatar, right? Who is the right ideal person who to attend your class? I'll make you do this. Michael will also ask you to do a lot of things on your own. Not on your own, we will have a support system. That means, let's say you come, 3 of you will be supporting each other, and we'll be checking on you all as well. And delivering like a pro, of course, Michael is a pro on this. So he will share with you how to use your voice, how to use your body, and how do you engage the different learning styles. And it's 2 days. So it's continued to day 5 as well. On day 6, you have what is called Rock the Stage, how to use stories. You'll be asked to structure your own stories, and you'll be given feedback, not just from Michael and me, but from your other classmates as well. We teach you what is called metaphor. This is my favorite. And I'll share with you how to use humor, how to look for humor, how to make your audience laugh, because when people laugh, they learn. And then you have mind skills for trainer. Of course, this is what I specialize in. You all may or may not know I'm a licensed instructor for mind mapping. I paid 20,000 ringgit for the license. I went to Bangkok for 5 days and got licensed. But anyway, I've been teaching this for 20 over years. I got my license only about 12 years ago. But the point is that I'll be sharing with you how to use memory skills, how to use mind mapping, how do you remember any presentation without a single PowerPoint or notes. In fact, I used to do a program called Throw Away Your Notes. You don't need notes. People say, if I don't have PowerPoints, I'll be lost. You don't need to worry about that. And then, of course, we have something called the marketing program, which is part of it will be how to use Canva. And then marketing skills, this is not done by Michael and me. It'll be done by a very famous trainer in Malaysia. And he's very well known for marketing. So I'm bringing him in. For those who want to know his name, is Maverick Fu. You might have heard of him. He's my friend and it's also one of my gurus as well. He taught me marketing. So rather than me teaching, I'd rather bring him in. How do you look for paid training gigs? How do you get more business? And how to become a great trainer on 5th day, on the 11th day, great training. What makes a training great? And then how do you do research online for your subject? And finally, on the 12th day, you'll be doing presentation. Now, please don't think only you'll be doing presentation on 12th day. You'll be doing presentations throughout. Yes. I did not mention here, but on the 12th day will be your major presentation. So that's why now you see why we cannot have more than too many people, more than 15 people. In fact, even if we have 10, we will start. We already have 5 people so far who have already signed up with us from my previous Get Paid to Speak class. Those sessions are very small. Huh? This is the biggest class where on the last day to have 60 odd of you people here. We used to have like 15, 20 people, but even from that, we already have 5 who have signed up. We did 2 sessions, and now this is the 3rd session. This is the final one. And I want to share with you the link. Before that, how many of you would be keen to consider this or be part of our coaching? Can I see a show of hands?
How much, sir?
It really matters.
It is matter.
The main question, isn't it?
Yes.
The very important question that you have to know. But before that, let me share with you what is the value you're going to get. Okay, the value is, number one, we're going to give you the 12 full days, right? And I didn't just pluck this figure from the air. There's somebody like us who is doing it. I don't know to mention his name, in Malaysia, the only other company which is doing it, and they're charging 20,000 ringgit. 20,000. Okay, just that. Second, we give you another extended 3 months of coaching. All right. I put a value of 3,000 ringgit for that because it's only 1 day per month. It's online. And then you get 2 sessions with us. That means one with Michael and 1 with me. But if you like Michael too much, then you say, I want to have both Michael session. Also, okay.
Jay, you need to change the screen and change your slide because we're still seeing the syllabus.
Oh, really? Oh, so sorry. Oh my God. I thought, sorry. Okay. So here you see my slide, right? So the 12 full days, this 3 months of extended coaching, 2 sessions. I place 1,000 ringgit for 1 coaching with one of us because it's 1-to-1. Huh? And then you get my fully developed course material. I got 25 topics for you to choose from. Huh? It's communication, of course, soft skills. I don't have Microsoft, Kelvin, sorry. But we have all the others. You talk about negotiation, HR topics, quite a lot. We have a lot. Then, of course, the book by Michael and Jaya. I didn't put a price tag to that. Okay, that's our gift for you. And within the 3 months, we will complete and publish it and print it and give it to you hot from the press, just for you guys to be the first one to receive our books. Okay, that's what we want to offer you. And all this adds up to 31,000 ringgit. Okay, I want to charge you all half of that. Nah? Still too high, is it? Okay. For you people, I want to make it less than 10,000 ringgit. 10,000, less than 10,000 ringgit. Our offer to you is, you know what? With all the certification and all this, the 29,000, sorry, it was 31,000. Silap, huh? Right. Not that. Today we offer you, today is 9987. But let me tell you what I have for you. The 9987 is something that I know it can be a little bit heavy for some people, right? I don't expect you all to come up with a 997 straight away, but I have a form for you all to fill in. In the form, if you fill in that for these 3 days of attending, we're going to give you a certificate. I know I didn't tell you that. We're going to send an e-certificate for this. That means you have attended the CPTD, GPTS, Get Paid to Speak, with Michael and me. Okay, signed by Michael and myself. We will give you this as a gift. I know you didn't pay for this, but it's just a gift for you. Regardless of whether you sign up for a CTP. We are not holding you hostage, and you sign up for CTP. This certificate comes regardless, just because you attend this. That is our gift for you, for having stayed with us for 3 days, and really appreciate your presence here. So that's one thing. But the point is that in this form, I have an option for you, where in the form you mention, you give all your details, and you mention if you would like to attend the CTP. If you say yes, then we will, within 3 days, we hold this for 3 days, this offer valid for 3 days. Huh? Within 3 days, you must be able to give us at least 1,000 ringgit as a deposit. Okay, 1,000 ringgit. And then you will have 1 month to make the payment. We accept credit cards as well. Okay. Unfortunately, I do not have easy payment scheme. Huh? I don't have. If I had, I would offer that to you. You say I pay over 6 months or 10 months or 12 months. I don't have that. See, that's what it is. But if you come and sign up, let's say after 3 days from now, even you give the name, the price goes up to 12,987. So there's 3,000 extra if you come. Remember just now the lady said, no, she said what? She said, Cikgu, masih boleh sign up tak? And Mr. Jaya cakap boleh. You remember that? Because she was one of those last people to come in before the deadline. Because I gave them a deadline, and she came in. And I said, okay, I still can accept you. So same thing. We are giving you, because see, we want people who are decision makers, people who value this. So I don't know, I'm not looking for, right now there are about 60 of you guys, right? I'm not expecting 60 of you to come. I'm not even expecting 20 of you people to come. I'm just expecting about 6 or 7 or even 10, maximum 10 of you people to join this. Okay. But even 6 of you or 5 of you join, because we already got a previous batch, we have people there, the program will go. In fact, one of you who are attending this, she is signing up already. Okay. She's still coming and joining this again. I don't know whether she's still here. But anyway, what I'm saying is, these are people who are our fans, you can call it that. Right. So I want to just share that this is something that we are doing, as Michael said, so that you don't struggle. You know why a lot of trainers fail? Because they try to do it on their own. Anybody who's successful as a doctor, as an engineer, as in anything in life, they have to go through years of learning, years of practice. And you heard Vivendran said what? He said, in the university, they didn't help me. You remember that? He attended 6 weeks with me, and he said, you have changed my life. For you people, it's longer than that. It's going to be 6 months. For them was 6 weeks. Yours is 6 months. Can you imagine how much more value Michael and I can give to you people? Yes, Michael.
Yeah, one of the things that everybody experienced here, or almost everybody here, is that you went to college. And when you went to university, you had to take certain courses, even though you've never, ever used them the rest of your life. Well, what Jay and I are going to give you are things that you can use as a trainer. Will they make you a better person? If you use all the skills, yes, you're going to be a little bit better person, but primarily it's focused on you being a trainer. Jay and I have spent jointly more than 50 years learning these skills. We've paid other schools where we attended, and we're still going back to school. We never stop learning. And this is one of the keys of a good trainer. A trainer never stops learning. You went through TTT. Now you got a chance to go through a higher level with some experienced people who want to help you. And our goal is to raise your level so that you are a more professional trainer. And that's what we're trying to do for you. We both spent a lot of money in our career and have a lot of heartaches trying to get started, get going, get motivated. We didn't have somebody like Michael and Jay to help us. We simply had to do it on our own, had to find a hard way. Eventually, we worked it out. Eventually, we were able to raise up. You don't need to struggle. You come to this class, you're going to walk away with a tremendous amount of knowledge and be at a higher level than you are now.
Absolutely. Yes. Well, let me share with you all the link before anything. If any questions, you're free to ask me or Michael now. Anything relating to the course or even about today's sharing, anything at all. No problem.
Unmute yourself and ask us
And
questions.
Yeah, and by the way, this is another thing I want to share with you. We are so confident about our program. We're giving you 100% money back guarantee. 100% money back guarantee if you're not satisfied. You say, hey, hello, Jaya. Not worth the money we spend. Come on. Yours is a rip-off, man. You don't have to give a reason or so. You don't ask you why you are going. It's just that we don't like it. No problem. I don't like your face, Jaya. Well, I don't like a white man teaching me. I know you won't say that. But, whatever reason, if you feel this is not for you. But of course, don't come and ask us on the last day. We give you the first 2 days to evaluate and see if this is something that you are getting value from. If you say, nah, no value, I didn't know all these things. I said, okay. Take your money back, man. Thank you. No questions asked. That's a no question asked guarantee. I don't think there's any other people in this country who's offering this kind of program with a 100% money back guarantee. Right? No. And I dare say, not because Michael and I are doing this, I dare say this is, not to sound immodest, is probably the best program you can find for a trainer in the world. In the world. Based on what we have put together. Because let me tell you, I have paid tons of money going for this kind of coaching programs. Tons. I've taken from US. I've taken from Australian. Trainer course. None that is complete. Are you with me? Some that teach you presentation skills, yes. But not marketing. If they teach you marketing, not presentation skills. Not completely on storytelling. And some of it is just the trainer speaking. You take down notes and then you go back. Here, no. You got to jump into the water and swim. You'll kick you into the water. You better do it. That's how it's done. So let you guys know that I have gone for Anthony Robbins coaching. Not his motivation class. Trainers coaching. How to be a trainer like him. I'm not a trainer like him, but we spend a lot of money learning these things. I've already spent way more than 100,000 ringgit. I've lost count already. More than.
Jay,
Yeah.
did you share the link for them to sign up already?
Oh yeah, sure. Sorry.
Because some people they're asking about it and they haven't got it yet.
Okay, so sorry. Because I was waiting for my WhatsApp to open. Wait, sekejap. I've just opened my WhatsApp. Okay. Because the link is in my WhatsApp. I had to copy that link. All right, as I promised just now, ladies and gentlemen, it's we're not forcing you to sign up because you know why? We are giving you a certificate regardless whether or not, but you fill in this form, please, for us to know. Okay, I have put in the group already.
Mandy, to answer Mandy has a question about being a 6-month commitment.
Somebody is the waiting room, is it? Oh, no.
No.
Okay. All right, okay. I've shared the link. Please don't miss this link. Please copy it down because I do not have the list of those who attended today. So please click on it and save it. Yeah. And as I said, that link would take you to, let me just see whether it's working. It should work. Yeah. And you'll find a Certified Training Professional course too. Can you see that? Have you clicked on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Sure. Okay, okay. I'm getting your messages now. Great sharing. Thank you. Thank you for the 3 days, Ravi. Yeah, okay, my pleasure. Okay, Ravi, I'll share the recordings with you all. And also let me share that the 12 days you'll be attending with us, you will be also given the 12 full days. So you're going to get
96 hours. 96 hours.
96 hours, not including the monthly 3 months coaching as well. So you get almost more than 100 hours with us. So you will get highlights of those sharing that we are doing with you, or a recording given to you. That alone we can sell for, right? We can sell it for a lot of money. So, but that's a gift that we're giving to you. And by the way, I already have a course called Speak and Grow Rich. I have a program which I'm already we are editing now. It's a 2 hours and 50 minutes course. I will also give that to you guys free. Okay, that's an extra. I didn't put in that, right? I'm going to share that with you guys as well. You're in Penang. I have time and budget. Please join 12 days. And my account CPD is around the full day. Anyway, oh, okay. Who's saying that? Sure. Okay. Right. Okay. Yeah, sure. I will definitely send it to you, Chok. Yes, Inas. So we will share with you guys. Once you put your name there, we will share the 3 days recording with you all. No problem. And also the certificate. We will definitely share with you all. Okay. Is there anything that you all want to ask us? Anything at all about what we have shared? Any sharing? How do you find the session? How did you find this useful? Would you recommend this to anybody else who wants to become a trainer? Even not talking about the CTP course, these 3 days that we have shared, where we have poured our heart and soul into it. Would you recommend this to any other friends of yours? Would you do that? Those who want to become trainers, would you say, hey, this is something that can be helpful for you? Would you do that? Yeah, right. Okay. But we are not doing this again. Not at the moment. We don't. People ask, when are you going to do this, guys? I don't know. Because I got so many things on my plate. I got a few other things to do. I'm writing my book as well, studying my other things. And I can go to get started cracking on our book as well. So anyway, a lot of things on our plate, but it's also. So I want to hear from you guys how you found the whole 3 sessions. Those who've been following us. Jayashree, you have been very quiet. Can you share how you found the 3 days with us?
Hi, Mr. Jaya and everyone. Yeah, I've been quiet because I've been observing the session because I've not done my TTT. And in fact, I was supposed to do the TTT with you last year. I was supposed to sign up, but my HR got all mixed up. So, but anyways, it's really a great session I had because in my company, my previous company, I've been doing the internal training for my staff. So I've learned from my manager, who is a certified trainer. But I think now joining this, it's actually give me a lot of refreshers and probably something that I can apply in my current company now. And it's actually building my confidence. And I'm looking forward to do my TTT very soon, and also to embark my journey into as being a trainer in the future.
Okay, talking about that, I'm doing TTT as well. You know that, right? So I do run the TTT. That's why I'm doing this on weekends. The TTT I run on weekdays. This program is claimable from HRDC.
Oh, okay. All right.
If your company is willing to sponsor you, I remember just now Noor was saying she got Kiat Mara. So if your company say, yeah, we'll sponsor you, then you can still claim. In my previous class, I had some who came through claiming HRDC. I did 3 CPTDs during the pandemic. Okay. And out of that, I think 2 or 3 people claimed. So, I mean, just let you know. And it's fully claimable because it's way below, because HRDC allows 1,300 per day. This one is only about 800-900 ringgit, less than 800 ringgit per day. Chok, as an accountant, she does a quick counting.
Yeah, I would love to join, but unfortunately, I'm new to this current company, so I don't think so they're gonna spend for me yet. Yeah, so probably in the next round.
Sure, no problem. Yeah, anyone else want to share their opinions? Sivagami, how do you find the session? Any takeaways from this?
Yes, sir. Actually, I've been in training for so many years, for almost 8 years, but this is something that I learned a lot. So how to do training effectively. So definitely I take some message. I make myself, commit myself, 8 p.m. must sit in front of laptop, and then I want to get waiting for the knowledge gaining from you people. So yeah, actually it's really benefited me. Thank you so much.
Who else? Sumi, you're here.
Yes, Mr. Jaya.
I don't know whether you followed the 3 days. But okay,
Of course. This is my second time with you.
second time you're attending the CPD.
Yeah.
Not this one.
Yes.
Yeah, look, you get paid to speak. So how do you found this coming again and learning again from these sessions?
Yes, it has been an awesome experience, Mr. Jaya. Like I said, it has been an immense contribution from both you and Mr. Michael. And we are truly very blessed to have both of you in our lives.
Sure. It's my pleasure, actually.
We're happy to do it. We're happy.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Coach. I just want to say thank you for Coach Jaya and Michael. I found that this platform is totally sincere sharing, which is I've been in this field for quite some time, about 3 years, but I couldn't find my missions to go to. But after looking at these 3 days, it's like eye opener. And yes, I want to be part of this the 12 days if possible. I will find way how to make it, claimable or whatnot. Yeah, I'm committed to be part of it. Yeah, thanks a lot. Yeah.
It's a pleasure. I was so happy that you can come on board. Anyone else want to say? I can see a few people here who have not been very, very silent observers. Mandy, are you here? Sales coach. Wow. Are you here, Mandy? Can you hear me?
Yes, Mr. Jaya, I can hear you.
Yeah. How do you find the session so far?
Wonderful.
Okay.
So
You're doing sales training, is it?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay. Any particular industry?
Currently in the workspace industry.
So did you find any value from what we shared these few days?
Yeah, definitely. So I've already filled up the form and I will take this offline with you.
Sure. Fantastic. Very good. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I would say that it has been a really interesting time with you guys. I really appreciate your time because you all you have been sticking around with us. And maybe I want to give my good friend a few words to say before we close. Michael.
Yeah, my few words is that when we do our training, it will be a little bit more balanced. And Mr. J is a great trainer. I went through his training at the third TTTP I had to go through, 2013, 2018, now 2023. But I learned from him, even though I've been doing it for years. Well, when you combine the two of us together, we bring so much talent to the table, so much experience, having gone through this and having worked with thousands and thousands of other people in our classes, that you're going to get a tremendous amount of benefit from this course. This is not something that we just took lightly and just threw together. This is something we're spending a lot of time in building, something that is really going to help you grow. So you show up, we'll do our best, and we're sure, 100% guarantee, we are sure that you're going to be satisfied because you will grow from this class and be a much better trainer. And for the last 3 nights, thank you all for attending. We appreciate the fact that you stopped by and see us for 3 full nights. So thank you all very much.
And ladies and gentlemen, before we go, remember to sign in to that form. As I said, the form does not mean that you're signing up for a course. It just means that you've attended and you're going to get a certificate. If you don't fill in, then you don't get a certificate. So if you value the certificate signed by Michael and me, then do fill it in, and we will keep you posted as well. We will once in a while be sending you some information about whatever is happening, either Michael and me or just myself, who is going to be whatever courses that we are offering to you guys. So we'll give you priority. But as I said, we will of course would love to have you on board, but if it is not convenient, like Chok is from Penang, I can understand that. Do keep in touch with us. You have our numbers. And I'd like to say one more time, thank you very much. And I really appreciate you guys. I wish you all the best in your life and also in your training career. Take care. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night. Thank you.
So, bye.